What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Fight Club. In this video I wanted to do a voiceover giving some tips and information on how to become a better boxer, specifically if you're going to be fighting in a charity event or a fight night for a white collar show. And straight off I want to explain, if you don't already know, basically a white collar charity event is where a group of individuals will come together to box in an event for charity to raise money. Basically, these people will tend to not have many fights or even no fights whatsoever. They do it mainly for the charity event or experience itself before actually competing as a boxer themselves. And when you go into a charity event like this here, you usually think it's going to be a bit of crack, and I see it all the time. I've been a part of many different white collar fight nights, and a lot of the lads have it in their heads that it's going to be a good night full of crack and they're not going to get hurt. And I'm sure a lot of people will agree that it is good crack, but I've seen it many a times that people get into the ring getting really hurt because they don't have that reality check. They're not being realistic about it. At the end of the day, you are going into the ring. I'm not trying to scare you, but you are going to be getting punched in the face and it is going to hurt. And yes, of course it is a bit of crack. It's going to be a good night, a good experience and all that, but at the same time you have to be realistic with yourself. You're going to be getting punched. It isn't easy. It's a completely different ball game compared to maybe playing football or anything else like that. You don't play boxing. It's a tough sport, and I just want to keep you thinking realistic. So what you want to do if you are going to be getting into a fight night for a charity event, basically you want to get in sparring. Try to get as much sparring in as possible, because that is going to be the one thing that will help you massively, especially with the practice on how to throw a punch and how to take a punch, because that's a lot of it, is being able to take a punch and being able to defend yourself properly. Now, the lads that I'm going in against here are novice fighters, meaning they haven't had many fights, and if even at that they haven't had any fights at all. And I'm just trying to bring them through the right way and how to throw punches and how to defend themselves. Now, I've had a lot more fights than these boys, and I'm just trying to help them out a wee bit here. A lot of the times I'm taking the punches, just letting them strike me, and then I'm going on the defence or maybe on the attack and trying to give them a bit of a feel what it's like to get punched. Pretty much a big tip that I will give is that you're not really going to be in the ring for that long. So you're going to be in the ring for a minute 30. You've got about a 30-second rest between the rounds, so you want to keep it high volume, so keep the punches flowing. That's what's going to enable you to win the fight. A lot of times people just mainly aim for the head. Try to go for the body if you can. Try to slow your opponent down and try to use good head movement, keeping the hands up. But definitely a big tip is to throw a lot of punches, because you aren't going to be in the ring for that long. So just don't be standing off dancing about. A lot of people do that and then they don't really get the true benefit out of the night. Go in there, throw a lot of punches. At the end of the day, you're not going to learn how to completely box inside a win a months. You're going to be learning how to throw a punch, but you're not going to be learning the art of boxing. It takes a long time to master the skill. Some people will pick up a wee bit easier, but just having the basics, keeping the hands up, unlike me there, I have the hands really low, but keeping the hands up nice and high and nice tight guard, throwing straight punches, trying to focus on that, trying to focus on defending yourself when needs be. So now I have the two lads in. These guys have had no fights whatsoever and are trying to mix it up with each other to see what it's like to go in against someone that also hasn't had a lot of fights. And as you can see here, the guy in the white is being the aggressor. So if I was scoring this fight based off this video, I would be picking the guy in the white to be winning this fight so far, as he's throwing more punches. And on the night, that's what the judge is going to be looking for, is the person that's being more aggressive, throwing a lot more punches rather than just defending yourself. Now, these lads have done a wee bit of training before, but they still are keeping it very basic. They're keeping the punches pretty much very straight. But on the night, try your best to let your punches go. Get your jabs striking out, have a good defence, but keeping your opponent off by throwing punches is a really good technique, and it's also a good form of defence. By throwing punches, you're going to be hurting that person as well, and not just standing there taking punches, because that's going to look like you're the person that's losing the fight. So don't just stand off and try to protect yourself by doing that, standing off and running. Stand there when needs be and keep the hands up, but get that jab shooting out so that you are defending yourself. In this section, you'll see the guy with the top off is actually throwing a lot more punches, and that's a lot better. He's doing a lot better there now because he's throwing a lot more strikes, and that's actually keeping his opponent off, because if he stops throwing the punches, then your other guy is just going to keep coming in against him. So back in again for the last wee bit of information, I just wanted to say that it's so important, as well as just getting sparring, also to begin in and doing some road running and maybe some resistance training to get your strength conditioning up and your overall fitness. Sparring is going to massively help, but if you are going to begin in on a fight night, make sure that you do have some level of fitness, that you are able to go in there for that length of rounds. Like I said, they're not that long. 1.5 minutes isn't that long, so be able to throw a lot of punches and be really aggressive when you're throwing the punches. Another thing there I just wanted to point out, as you just seen there with the body shots, something that I wanted to note was when doing white collar, people just tend to go for the head. If you're fighting someone that's pretty aggressive, that just keeps coming, just keeps throwing punches, try to aim for the body. As you can see there in the video, I just told my opponent just to hit me in the body, testing it out, what it's like to throw a body punch, because it can be awkward when you're not used to it, but this is going to keep someone off that's been very aggressive. It'll slow them down, take the wind out of them, and sometimes even hurting them enough to stop the fight. And if that's what your goal is, I know it's a charity event and you're not intentionally going in there trying to really hurt the person, but at the end of the day, if the person's going to be striking you hard punches, you also have to be able to strike them back. So basically that sums the video up for tonight. Hopefully this will help someone have a wee bit more knowledge when it comes to fighting. But also, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to comment down below on YouTube, or if you want to message me personally, please feel free to contact me on Facebook, Casey the Ripper, or on Instagram, same again, Casey the Ripper, and I'd be happy to help out anyone that just wants to learn a wee bit more about the sport of boxing. Hopefully I'll be able to get up a couple more videos and just showing you some technique, as well as just striking and defense, some things that will also help you on the night as a fighter. But that's it guys, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.